What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dobrunsky here. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a Druid build that I have dubbed the Beast Master. So it's essentially a hybrid setup that is stealing ideas from the Werewolf and also the pure summoning Druid approach, kind of mashing them together so we have full summon support army with about a 10k Fury setup with Decrep proc. So really has great survivability, insane crowd control. It doesn't quite have the pure damage output of the Reaper Wolf setup, but it is a very fun build and kind of a different spin on sort of your standard traditional Druid setup. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, like all my previous build videos, I will have timestamps in the description below. So if you guys want to navigate between certain segments of the video, they're there for you guys to use, so please take advantage of them. And also a quick reminder, if you guys do enjoy this YouTube content, I do stream twice a week on Twitch. I am trying to grow that channel, so any follows would be very much appreciated. Got the link for my Twitch channel in the description below. That being said, guys, let's jump in. So I do want to mention one thing before I jump into the specifics of this build, and that is you have to really decide how heavily you want to weight the Beastmaster in terms of a summoning approach or a shapeshifting approach. And what do I mean by that? Well, could essentially rock like all max damage gear on your druid, so like G-Phase, High Lords, all max damage attack rating, plus life, Grand Charms, to Small Charms. Maybe have 1 hard point into Lycanthropy, Werewolf, Max Fury, and then put some remaining points into summoning. Could do the opposite end of the spectrum where you go all summoning plus summoning skillers. You could carry Beast on your druid, sacrifice some shapeshifting damage, maybe put 1 hard point into Fury, and then everything else is into your summons and Oak Sage, and then shapeshift it that way. And then in that case, you're kind of mostly relying on summoning support. Or you could go an approach down the middle, which what this build video is kind of about, so it'll make sense when I go over the skill tree and the gear. But I'm trying to sort of balance out between having almost 12k Fury with Decrep proc and Deadly Strike applied to that on top of it, and then also having very strong summoning support, so like nearly 5k Grizzly, nearly 2k Dire Wolves, 3.5k Ravens. And that is sort of a more balanced approach in my opinion, and you'll actually see when I show off some of the gameplay that it completely just ripped through on like players 3 in Chaos Sanctuary. Mercenary is freaking out there, I don't know what he's doing. But as far as the attributes go, I just went with a max vitality approach, so enough strength to equip my gear, which is 156 for Spirit in the offhand, and a Monarch Shield. Nothing into Dexterity, nothing in Energy, and then everything else in Vitality. So I have a ton of survivability and life with this build. Like the summons are really good crowd control and extra kind of like cannon fodder meat shields. They do decent damage as well. But having the insane life damage and then their survivability, this is a very tanky build. It's very challenging to actually die, and I was actually really surprised by that. Having a full summoning army support really does help in that regard. As far as the skill tree goes, Elemental, nothing. Summoning, I put 20 hard points into Raven, summon Spirit Wolf, Dire Wolf, summon Grizzly, and Heart of the Wolverine. So I have a ton of extra enhanced damage from Wolverine. So I'm actually, when I switch to the offhand, CT and Spirit, plus 300% ED from Heart of the Wolverine. And then I have, again, like nearly 5k Grizzly, summon Spirit Wolf is nearly 2k, 1000 with summon Spirit Wolf. Excuse me, Dire Wolf is nearly 2k, summon Spirit Wolf is 1000 cool damage, and the Ravens are nearly 4k. All of that damage is compounded on top of Concentration Aura from Pride, Might Aura Mercenary, and then Heart of the Wolverine. So that is a ton of damage, and then on top of that I'm shapeshifting, hitting with really hard Fury and Decrep procs. It's a very powerful build. Shapeshifting, I just have 1 hard point in Lycanthropy, 1 into Werewolf, 1 into Feral Rage, 1 into Rabies, and everything else into Fury. You can see here, 423% additional damage with Fury. That's crazy. Just extra damage paired with an army to help you. This is a really interesting build, and I do think, again, let me know in the comment section below specifically for this point if you guys agree or disagree, but I really do feel like a lot of the approaches with the Druid now, they almost work better as hybrid builds. So whether it's like an Eth Windhammer with a Zod rune, and then maxing out Twister and its synergies and having a Hurricane Druid with Fury, or this approach, shapeshifting and summoning, I really do feel like there's a lot more viable hybrid setups with the Druid. As far as the gear goes, so starting off with the main hand, I am using an Ethereal Zodded Reaper's Toll. This is in the current state of this patch, unless they change it. The new IS breakpoints, the way that the calculation works for shapeshifting is essentially you can use slower hitting weapons to reach faster breakpoints than what you could before. And the really fast hard hitting weapons from before aren't quite as fast as what they used to be. So this is now the kingpin for shapeshifting. I will die on this hill. There's nothing better. Decrep procs, good ED, tons of life leech, Deadly Strike, and ignore target defense. And also the fact that I'm getting that Decrep proc means that I can use a Pride Mercenary. I don't have to choose between a Pride Merc or a Reaper's Toll Mercenary setup. It's just a very, very powerful build. Helmet is a Fire Faceted Jalal, so ignore the Fire Facet. It's because I was messing around with an elemental build. You could use like an Umrune, Burrune, Enhanced Damage Tool to get a little bit more damage. And then I'm using High Lords, Enigma, Ravenfrost, Dual H-Ring, Laying of Hands, Arachnid's Mesh, Four Rider Boots, different assorted summoning skillers, then max damage, attack rating, plus life, small charms with a Druid Torch and an Annie. The offhand is CTA and Spirit. The Mercenary is a Might or a Merc using the Runeward Pride. So again, Heart of the Wolverine damage, plus Might, plus Pride, plus Shapeshifting, plus a full Summoning Armory support. This is a very, very powerful build. I'm going to do a Players 3 Chaos Sanctuary run, just because if I actually play Players 1, I kill stuff in Shapeshifting 4 before my summons actually get a chance to help me. It's literally that powerful. Okay. Now if you want to squeak out every ounce of damage, you want to buff up with Battle Orders and Battle Command first to get an extra plus skill. And we summon our 5 Ravens, 5 Spirit Wolves, 3 Dire Wolves, a Bear, and then we rebuff them up. Then you want to shapeshift on this CTA side because that gives you an extra plus skill. Then switch back to your main hand, and then just alternate back and forth between Fury and Feral Rage. So when the Might Aura kicks in from the Mercenary, you should see my damage jump up to nearly... Oh, I missed out on... 1 second here. Okay. Sorry. Butterfingers didn't cast the Heart of the Wolverine. I was wondering why my damage was a little bit low. So nearly 10k, and then once the Might Aura kicks in from the Mercenary, you'll see that I should be approaching 11k physical damage. Ton of life leech. And the summons will actually... They will catch up to me in Chaos Sanctuary. Just provide me extra crowd control support and additional damage. I would love to actually try this build out too. Same idea, using a different weapon, like maybe an Ethereal Zodded Kelpie Snare for slowdown, and then using like a Last Wish Act 5 Mercenary just to get those life tap procs, and then full summoning support army to distract Lilith. And I actually think it'd be a really good build. Now this doesn't quite have the... Like, a pure summoning druid with Enigma, you can teleport, reposition, and focus all of your summons on a single target, which is very powerful. You don't really have that luxury as a shapeshifting druid, because you can't teleport in shapeshifting form. But if I was just teleporting with Beast on, I wouldn't have 11k Fury damage supporting my summon. So there's like advantages and disadvantages to both. Don't know what my zoo army was doing there. They're kind of hanging out behind me. And I don't know why, there's just something so satisfying constantly hearing Decrep. Like, just, I don't know. I love it. I love the new shapeshifting changes. I know a lot of people are upset because their like standard Tomb Reaver build is ruined, but this is just so much better than that. So hopefully people can see that. I do really hope at some point they'll allow us to cast Battle Orders and Battle Command in shapeshifting form. That'd be really nice. Yeah, like 5k life, ton of damage. Occasionally have to recast your wolves. Or sorry, occasionally have to recast your ravens. Because one of the biggest problems with the shapeshifting druid is you have very low defense. So so it's very easy to take damage, but when you have all of these different summons aggroing and providing you extra, like, cannon fodder, you just... I mean, they're probably not... They're definitely... Not they're probably. They're not doing as much damage as I am, but they're just there. A little bit extra damage, but they're really just absorbing hits, which I think is very important. Do players 8 Sace. Now we'll go to... Sorry, that was players 3 to Sace. Now we'll do a players 8 Infector and a players 8 Diablo. Now, I don't think these guys... I think they're too close to me. I was going through the center, so they're probably still players 3. But these guys down here will definitely be players 8. So you kind of see, like, just all summoning skillers, Reaper's Toll, Druid, like, they're just crushing. Okay.
Not even death can save you from me.
Some of our summons to focus fire. Look at how slow Diablo is. With the Reaper's Toll, full damage. Love it. I swear to God they upped the drop rates. I have dropped so many, like, almost Shaco, Bariza. I've dropped a lot of nice stuff on PTR. But yeah, guys, that wraps up the Beastmaster Druid. Again, you could take an approach of mostly physical damage and then having some summon support. All summons are kind of going down the road, or down the center of the road, which is what this build tried to accomplish. Yeah, just let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree, disagree, or enjoyed the video. Hopefully you've been enjoying PTR, and I'll catch you guys on my next video or live stream. Peace out.